Can good design shape a better world? At Monocle's Quality of Life conference in Barcelona this September, we'll be putting that question to the people who already are. Join leading designers, architects, and creative leaders as we explore how design intersects with culture, business, and everyday life. Plus, great food, excellent company, and plenty of Catalan charm. Find out more and book your seat at monocle.com/conference.
This is Monocle on Design Extra. It's a short show to accompany our weekly programme where we discuss everything from architecture and craft to furniture and graphic design. I'm Maylie Evans. We would all like to live in a well-designed home, one that fills us with a sense of sanctuary and calm, a shelter from the world around us at times. In it, perhaps we have some well-chosen furniture and shelves that showcase ephemera that collects over our daily lives, and selected tchotchkes that speak volumes as to who we are or where we would like to be. But how do we ensure that our curations of home result in spaces that feel lived in, rather than showroom simulacra of day-to-day living? It's over to Monocle's associate editor Grace Charlton to ponder this, and how a certain Jacques Tati comedy film of 1958 also muses on this careful balance.
It was a comment that wasn't meant to be mean-spirited, but it hurt nonetheless. "It looks like a showroom," a friend of mine exclaimed at my flat warming party. My heart sank as I realised there was truth in the statement. The sofa still smelt new, tables were carefully laid out with magazines and incense, and the bookshelves were stacked with design books, a perk of working at Monocle. I'd unintentionally created a showroom. For weeks, every time I'd step foot in my living room, I'd purposefully muss up the coffee table, making a point of cracking open unread books to pore over some pages. I was determined to accelerate the process of breaking in my new space, airing out any whiff of inauthenticity. Eventually, a respectable amount of clutter began to build up, and I felt comforted by these signs of life. My better, neater other half might disagree. It's funny how design can be performed rather than enjoyed. And pinpointing exactly where one begins and the other ends is, admittedly, an esoteric pursuit. A recent viewing of French filmmaker Jacques Tati's 1958 comedy Monocle laid this dichotomy bare. The uncle in question, Monsieur Hulot, represents the average Frenchman struggling to make sense of the consumerist culture and modernist architectural boom that swept France in the aftermath of the Second World War. His growing obsolescence is conveyed through the cobblestone old town apartment he lives in and the rickety old bike he rides. Meanwhile, his sister, Madame Arpel, eagerly embraces this new wave of technology. She lives in a new suburb in a sleek white house with a state-of-the-art kitchen she proudly stages demonstrations in for her fellow housewives. One can only assume Le Corbusier and Charlotte Perriand featured on the set design team's mood board. A recurring gimmick throughout the film is a fish-shaped fountain that she switches on to impress only the worthiest of guests. It's through her possessions that Madame Arpel finds a sense of security and status. In truth, I quite like the ultra-modern house of the Arpels and the flashy pieces of design that furnishes it. But what Tati skillfully achieves in Monocle is poking fun at an attitude about design that is performance rather than organic enjoyment or a personal sense of taste. After all, who wants to live in a showroom?
My thanks to Grace Charlton there. That's all for this week. If you're eager for more design stories, then listen to our main programme, Monocle on Design, which airs on Tuesdays at 8 p.m. London time. If you prefer print, you can pick up a copy of Monocle magazine. It's available on all good newsstands now. Today's episode was produced by me, Maylee Evans, with editing help from Hunter Wang. Thank you very much for listening.